Day one of the NCAA Women's College World Series continues with Game 3. Two newcomers, LSU and Stanford, make their College World Series debuts next. Championships. They are built on playmaking, precision, and purpose. They are fueled by power, passion, and poise. Winning here can never really be done alone, and it rarely comes without pain. The pursuit of a championship continues next. We are in Oklahoma City at the Amateur Softball Association Hall of Fame Stadium for continued coverage of the Women's College World Series. Up next, LSU and Stanford. Earlier today, Arizona and Oklahoma both won their first-round games. Cal and Michigan are still alive. They move into the losers bracket, and later on tonight, it's Iowa and UCLA. Welcome, everyone. Michelle Tafoya, Tracy Ward along with you. Glad to have you with us. LSU has been knocking on the door of the College World Series for a number of years. They finally broke through under the guidance of new head coach Yvette Girard, but she will be the first to tell you, Tracy, she inherited a great group of talent, beginning with SEC Player of the Year, Britni Sneed,
who says she is having more fun playing under Yvette Girard. The reason why she's effective. The 6'1" imposing frame on the mound, probably the best at throwing the curveball. She's also the best at throwing the strike. You see how many strikeouts she has? An all-time high for Britni Sneed. It earned her All-American honors.
And then there is All-American Stephanie Hastings, who is incredibly consistent with the bat.
Talk about a team player. LSU needed power. She moved from the number 2 spot to the number 3 spot, leads the team in doubles and RBI. LSU, to be effective, needs the bat of Hastings.
Well, Stanford is also making its College World Series debut, and they are centered around an offensive machine. No other way to say it. Jessica Mendoza, she can do everything.
Mendoza will bulldoze you. As a matter of fact, she is the best hitter at taking advantage of mistakes. She leads the team with 14 home runs, had a home run already this year off of Britni Sneed. She can change the game with one swing of the bat.
And Stanford will have Dana Sorensen in the circle today, one of the nation's leaders in strikeouts, Tracy.
She has had some back problems this year, but she's had about 2 days rest, coming back strong. Also an All-American pitcher. Again, high on the strikeouts. Stanford will be interesting to see how she comes out early in the game.
Well, the weather has been beautiful today. The crowds have been plentiful. LSU and Stanford making their Women's College World Series debuts. Lineups are coming up. We are back in Oklahoma City, and reporting on the field for us tonight is Ellen Weinberg. Right now she is with LSU coach Yvette Girard. Ellen?
Thanks, Michelle. And Coach, for you, you are the higher seed, but you played Stanford earlier this year and you lost to them. What'd you learn from that game that you're bringing into today's game?
Well, we got to learn to keep the ball in the ballpark, because that's essentially what beat us. We gave up 2 hits and they went over the fence, and if we control their 2 big hitters, then we think we can win the ball game.
When you talk about controlling their big hitters of Mendoza and Beeson, will you try to pitch around them?
Well, we certainly will try to pitch smarter. You know, if they can hurt us, we'll intentionally walk them. But other than that, we hopefully will pitch smarter and not give them anything good to hit out of the yard.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back upstairs, Michelle.
All right, thanks, Ellen. We'll get right to the lineups. Stanford batting first. Robin Walker at shortstop. Jessica Mendoza, center fielder. Sarah Beeson, Kara Ching, Jessica Allister, Cassie Branham, Jenny Scheidler, Maureen Lecoq, and Ramona Shelburne. And the defense for LSU is Christy Connor, April Jansen, Stephanie Hastings, and Julie Reese in the infield. Trina Peel, Alicia Perry, Dee Douglas in the outfield, and Jennifer Schulke catching Britni Sneed, the pitcher we spoke of early, Tracy, just has been tremendous all season.
Has one of the best curves in the game today. She also has a rise. What made her effective is she added a screwball and a change.
And the first pitch is out for these 2 first-timers to the College World Series. Robin Walker, the shortstop out of La Palma, California, went to Mater Dei High School, which produces so many good athletes, softball players among others. Stands just 5'1", 20-year-older, junior poli-sci major at Stanford.
And there you see the effective curveball of Britni Sneed as she starts to settle down. She gets ahead with that curveball, threw it on the first pitch. Walker laid off. It throws about 65 miles per hour. Big 6'1".
Oh. 3-1 the count now to Walker.
One of Walker's fortes, and the reason John Whitman has her in the #1 slot, is her ability to watch pitches. She has great plate discipline. She's showing it right now.
Honorable mention, all Pac-10 this year. Bloops this one high to right center, and the catch is made. April Jansen there for her. John Whitman in his 5th season as the Cardinal coach. 2001 Pac-10 co-coach of the year. By the way, he grew up in Louisiana, taking on a school he knows quite well. So one away now as Jessica Mendoza is at the plate for the Cardinal. Batting left-handed, ball 1.
And you can see the respect Britni Sneed has for Mendoza. If you remember back in February when Mendoza faced Sneed, it was a curveball that Mendoza took advantage of and hit over the fence. Pitching smart means not putting anything in the strike zone. Sneed hasn't done it yet.
2-0 now to the 20-year-old out of Camarillo, California. And I know some people say it Camarillo, some people say it Camarillo. I'm from California. I should do it the proper way, but I've heard it both ways so many times. Even Jessica didn't have a preference. 5'9", look at that, hitting .415. If she finishes the season hitting above .400, she'll have done it 3 straight seasons. That one in there for a strike. And
the trouble is, if you walk Mendoza, look who is behind her. Sarah Beeson hitting .399. So you don't want to pitch Mendoza too careful because you're going to have to pay with it with Beeson.
And this one hit hard. The catch not able to be made by Alicia Perry. And Mendoza gets around to second. Will she go to third? Decides not to risk that. But Jessica Mendoza is on with a double.
And you take a look at the swing of Mendoza, and it really looks effortless. Take a look at this pitch going away. Mendoza just goes with it. She's a gap hitter. Did exactly that on an outside pitch. Perry with the outstretched hand couldn't get to it, and Mendoza's got some speed, and it's why she thought about third base, but winds up with a stand-up double.
19th double on the year. And right behind her comes another powerful hitter, Sarah Beeson, hitting .399, second best on the team, just behind Mendoza. Another lefty out of Tucson, Arizona.
Couple of philosophies. John Whitman said, be careful for the curveball. You know you're going to see it. Go with it. Hit gap to gap. Mendoza did it. Beeson is well schooled it. Also, Stanford wants to put pressure on Sneed early. They feel she'll crumble if they can put the pressure on in the early innings.
1 out, 1 on for Beeson. Takes a swing and a miss. 0-2 now, the count to Sarah Beeson. Beeson, a regional all-tournament team. During the NCAA regionals, had 3 hits, a double and 2 RBI. And she's a terrific story in that she wants to become a surgeon because she told me yesterday, I love to fix things. See if she can fix on one of these pitches. 0-2 now the count. Hits it right to third. The throw on second in time for the out. The double play ends the inning. And it's scoreless here in Oklahoma City. LSU coming to bat next. Stanford undaunted. The hit caught well by Julie Weiss to end the inning. LSU at bat next. Julie Weiss made a great play at third to end the top of the first inning for LSU. So now the Tigers coming up to bat. And here is the batting order. Dee Douglas leads off. The left fielder, April Jansen, Stephanie Hastings, Christy Connor, Trina Peel, Erin Johnson, Julie Reese, Jennifer Schulke, and Alicia Perry. And for the Cardinal, the defense has Sarah Beeson at first, Kira Ching at second, Robin Walker and Jenny Scheidler in the infield. Ramona Shelburne, Jessica Mendoza, and Cassie Brangham in the outfield, and Jessica Allister catching Dana Sorensen today.
Also an All-American pitcher like Britni Sneed. About 100 less innings than Sneed, about 100 less strikeouts. That's due to her back problems, primarily a down pitcher. Watch her work the drop against these LSU hitters.
19-year-old sophomore out of San Diego, California. And here is Dee Douglas, who is 22 today. She's the birthday girl out of Lamarck, Texas. That one in there, a ball. And there's nothing Dee Douglas would like better to do on her birthday than perform well, but more than anything, she told us yesterday, just wants to get the win.
And look at the infield. Drawn in, respecting the speed of Dee Douglas. They know primarily she's got great bat control, trying to place it, put pressure on the defense.
That one tipped off foul. 1-1 now to Douglas. You mentioned the speed. They call her the queen of the LSU base paths. She is 34 of 40 on stolen base attempts this season. Tops on the team. And just 5'1". Boy, she is so quick. 2-1 now to Douglas.
She has really developed into a leadoff hitter for Louisiana State. Why do I say that? Well, because she's become more disciplined at the plate, better pitch selection, and better bat control. It's why she's so effective, hitting better than .330.
And that pitch evens up the count 2-2 to Douglas. Second team all SEC, SEC all tournament member. And Dana Sorensen, top 5 nationally in strikeouts and ERA. .48 ERA for Sorensen. And again, tipped off foul. Stays 2-2.
One of the interesting battles here is how much does LSU face the caliber of pitching that the Pac-10 can throw at them? Do they see it in the SEC? Well, with the rise of the SEC in softball, they are seeing it more consistently.
Crowd does not like that call. He called it a ball, so it's a full count 3-2. Take another look.
Well, let's take a look. If this blesses the outside of the plate, it does not, says the home plate umpire, even though Allister tries to sell it. And Dee Douglas has worked a full count.
That time she swings at it. And that's the first out. Let's check in with Ellen Weinberg.
I hear you talking about Dana Sorensen, sore back. She told me she's about 90%. That throughout the game, the more she lands in her left foot after she releases her pitch, the left side tightens up. It's day-to-day, pitch-to-pitch. It hurts more on the delivery of the curve and the drop, but those are her go-to pitches. She won't stay away from those pitches. She'll just try to pitch through the pain. We'll watch her closely.
Ellen, it's a great point, because at this point in the season, every player we spoke to yesterday told us, yeah, I'm banged up, I'm dinged up, I don't care. I'll do whatever I have to do out there. That one in there for a strike. 1-1 now to April Jansen. Jansen, the right-hander out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, played her high school ball at Central High School. Swings at this one, finds the gap. She'll get to first and hold up there. So Jansen is aboard for the Tigers.
LSU has become more aggressive at the plate, less strikeouts. So you see Jansen attack on a rise ball that hangs in the strike zone. Takes it right back through the middle. Walker can't get to it, and Jansen becomes a base runner.
And that brings up Stephanie Hastings, one of the team co-captains who prefers to be called Steph, so we'll honor that. Takes a swing at it, drops in the throw to first on time. So Jenny Scheidler doing the job there for the out of Stephanie Hastings. 2 away.
Hastings being aggressive, going after the first Sorensen offering, and that's an interesting strategy. Right after Jansen gets on, sensing that Sorensen's trying to get ahead, Hastings tries to attack. Just didn't get a good full swing in.
So 2 out, no score here in the bottom of the first. Christy Connor at the plate for LSU. Out of Katy, Texas, another lefty, 19 years old, 5'6". The sophomore studying kinesiology. She is a University of Texas San Antonio transfer.
I really like this hitter, and that's exactly what she is. It's the reason she's number 4 for Yvette Girard. She has no fear. She doesn't know the meaning of failure. She attacks pitches, and you can see the full clap. She is going full bore up there.
Big swing, 2-1 now, the count to Christy Connor. Yvette Girard had coached Louisiana Lafayette to 2 College World Series, and now she's here in her first season at LSU. And Connor tips that one back foul, 2-2 the count.
The hallmark of a Yvette Girard team is go out and have fun, and a lot of times winning comes with that. When she bought the Raging Cajuns from UL Lafayette, they were one of the most loud, fun, loving teams, and LSU has adopted Yvette Girard's philosophy.
The grounder, handled by Walker, the throw to first in time for the out. So we remain scoreless here in Oklahoma City. 1 inning in the record books. Back in a moment.
Here. Like it wasn't real high, but it wasn't low.
Scoreless here in Oklahoma, where Stanford is debuting with a number 6 seed. And yesterday I asked their first baseman, Sarah Beeson, how far she thought the Cardinal could go.
I think you'll be surprised. We've played almost everyone, all 4 Pac-10 teams. We've played LSU before, and we've held our own and beat them. The only team we haven't beat is Arizona, and for them we went 15 innings with them. So we know that we can hang with any team in there, as long as we stay relaxed and play. We've got an amazing team. It's really exciting.
You know, she said that with all sincerity. You can see it, I think, on her face and hear it in her voice. As Sneed throws a strike to Kira Ching. But what a delightful personality Sarah Beeson is. And you can see just a catalyst for this team's emotional side. Kira Ching takes strike 2, 0-2 now to the second baseman from San Lorenzo, California.
Britni Sneed looking at the stance of Kira Ching, who John Rittman is high on, the reason he has Ching at number 4. And you could see her start with the open stance and then close it as the pitch comes. The curveball breaks away. Sneed going to that pitch.
And the throw is there. Julie Weiss. That was foul, as a matter of fact. So Ching slowing down and coming back to the plate.
And you can see Sneed just taking the deep breaths, trying to settle down. Usually accustomed to getting ahead of and handling hitters. Stanford going right at her.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3 for Kira Ching, and another strikeout for Sneed.
Take a look at the break of this curveball. We talked about the open stance of Ching and how she closes it. She just cannot catch up. Watch it break away. That is the patent Britni Sneed pitch.
And Jessica Allister bloops one to right. Trina Peel is there. 2 away here in the top of the second. And Britni Sneed, with the strikeout of Ching, has now 380 Ks on the season.
Look at some of the sun that the right side of the field has to deal with, and as the shadows start to come into play, as we get later in the evening, great job of Shield blocking out the sun.
Another great pitch by Sneed for the strike. 0-1 now to Cassie Brangham, the lefty out of Clovis, California. That one low for a ball 1. Cassie Brangham, a sophomore, undecided on her major, hitting .208 on the season, fouls that one off, 1-2.
And Brangham is a great example of John Rittman's philosophy is I have to recruit high intellects and put them wherever I can. Brangham was playing in the infield. Now John Rittman's put her in the outfield. And he said because the academic standards are so tough at Stanford, it's like putting pieces of a puzzle together.
Swing and a miss. Another strikeout, the second for Britni Sneed. We remain scoreless. Heading into the bottom of the second, Britni Sneed started to heat up in the circle for LSU. Scoreless here in Oklahoma City. But later on in Omaha, it's the NCAA Home Run Challenge presented by Rawlings. It's coming up Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. 8 participants from Division I, II, and III, live from Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha, Nebraska. Thursday, June 7th. Stay tuned for that. Tigers at bat, beginning with Trina Peel to lead off here in the bottom of the second. That throw inside, ball one.
Trina Peel has been hotter than a Louisiana summer night. Her batting average is up 60 points over the past month, and it's because she's had better pitch selection. She has had some great bat control and some surprising hits.
The comebacker, and Sorensen handles it. The throw to Beeson in time for the first out.
The slap and speed are Peel's forte. Watch how quickly this play unfolds. You have less than 3 seconds to make that play, or Trina Peel will make you pay.
Aaron Johnson now at the plate for LSU. That one upstairs, ball one. Johnson standing 5'6", the junior out of Pascagoula, Mississippi. Bats left, throws right. 21 years old, takes a strike. 1-1 the count.
Now remember, Johnson has been here with Southern Miss. She is a transfer to LSU and has been to the College World Series a couple of times. So if she looks comfortable in Oklahoma City, you know why.
Gets this one past the pitcher, and it'll be a single. The experience pays off for Aaron Johnson. A single off of Sorensen. The only player with College World Series experience for LSU puts it to work.
Takes the curveball right back up the middle. No surprise, because it is Johnson who had 1 of 2 hits against Sorensen back in February.
CeeLo contact, we see CeeLo contact.
1 on, 1 away for Julie Weiss, the third baseman who had that spectacular play to finish up the first inning. Strike one. 20 years of age, another Baton Rouge product. Freshman out of Central High School, batting .260. She redshirted last season, so she's a redshirt freshman. That one low, ball one.
Like Christy Connor, Julie Weiss is a free swinger. Second in the team on home runs, first in strikeouts, an all-or-nothing hitter. You got to be careful pitching to her.
Taps it back, foul. We are in Oklahoma City for the NCAA Women's College World Series. Some nice crowds have been on hand all day long, and Oklahoma's participation in this event certainly draws the fans. Weiss rounds it. The shortstop Walker is there for the out, and Stanford pumped over another 1-2-3 inning. Still scoreless here, heading to the top of the third. Back to Oklahoma City after this. John Rittman watching his Stanford Cardinal playing a scoreless game. And right now, Ellen Weinberg is with John's wife, Lori. Ellen?
That's right. And I'm also with his son, Jake. Jake's paying attention, like that double play there. That was a great double play. Way to get out of that inning. Now, for you, you were a regional All-American at OU. Did you ever fathom that you would be back here watching your husband one day, Coach?
No, I didn't, but I'm glad that he's finally made it back to the College World Series.
Now you have so much experience as a player yourself. He said that you're pretty good about not giving him too much advice, but in a situation like this, what'd you tell him coming into the College World Series?
I just told him to have fun and enjoy the moment. He's worked so hard to get here, and his team has worked so hard to get here, and to finally get here, I just wanted to have fun and enjoy it.
Lori, enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you.
Let's go back upstairs. Michelle?
Thank you, Ellen. Jenny Scheidler facing an 0-1 count by Sneed, and John Rittman making his 4th trip to the NCAAs this year, but first time to the College World Series as a head coach. He had been here as an assistant coach with Washington.
You know, John looks well rested, and the reason being is because his wife and 2 sons are staying with a friend of hers here in Oklahoma City. Her best friend happens to live here in Oklahoma City. So while John is in the hotel with the team, his wife and 2 sons are well cared for.
0-2 to Scheidler. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And yesterday we asked John Rittman how Stanford finally broke through to get here. Here's what he told us.
First of all, it took a team with a lot of talent. Team chemistry was a huge part of it. And I think just our never say die attitude. I mean, obviously, not making the World Series after 3 straight NCAA appearances could have been frustrating. And I think it was frustrating for our ball club. But I think we came in with one goal in mind, and that was to make it to the College World Series. And this team has worked extremely hard all year to accomplish that goal.
And accomplish it, indeed they did, but how far they will go? You heard Sarah Beeson say earlier, you might be surprised. Right now, the only thing that's surprising Maureen Lecoq is the changeup of Britni Sneed.
You know, this John Rittman seems so laid back, but he's so aggressive. Probably one of the best hitting coaches in all of softball. He and Mike Candrea really are working together, along with Lee House, the Georgia coach, forming a hitting committee, basically to teach youngsters how to hit. And you can tell it's paid big dividends with the Stanford Cardinal team, their first College World Series appearance.
Candrea was the co-coach of the year in the Pac-10. The throw not in time. Stephanie Hastings bobbled it just a bit. The throw to Christy Cooper at first not in time, and Maureen Lecoq is on.
A couple hesitations here by Hastings, but still a great play. Watch the throw. It bobbles up into her bare hands, pauses, then throws off her front foot, tries to gun it. Connor with the stretch, but good speed by Lecoq. Take a look of the great concentration of Hastings. And Lecoq motoring down that line.
Great effort. And now the one-struck ball into left field by Ramona Shelburne. And that sends Maureen Lecoq to second. Shelburne is at first. And the first time today, Stanford has 2 runners aboard.
Going with the pitch, it's the forte, and what John Rittman professes, and that's exactly what Shelburne does as she takes it over the outstretched arms of Julie Weiss and becomes, and you don't like this, number 9 hitter. She's a base runner. You're putting pressure on.
That one low and away, ball 1 to Robin Walker, who represents the top of the order. Right-handed shortstop. Flew out in the first. Hits this one hard to right, and a great play made by Trina Field, but not before Maureen Lecoq gets to third. Ramona Shelburne holds up at first, runners at the corner.
And you really gamble here. Do you make the catch or not? Well, it's in fair territory. You go for it. Trina Peel goes a long way and knows that she's got a runner going in Lecoq. Lecoq very alertly stays and hangs on second base, tags on the catch, moves to third, and now runners at the corners for the Cardinal.
And runners at the corners for Jessica Mendoza of the Cardinal. The team's leading hitter, .415 on the season, with 14 home runs. Leads the team in both categories. Hits this one hard to center field. And Alicia Corey is there to make the play. Britni Sneed getting out of this one. couple of hits for the Cardinals. Still scoreless here in Oklahoma City. Still scoreless, bottom of the third here in Oklahoma City. The men's lacrosse national semifinals on ESPN2 Saturday at noon Eastern. Syracuse versus Notre Dame. Then at 3 o'clock, Princeton versus Towson, live from Rutgers Stadium. The Irish making their first semifinal appearance. Catch all the action on ESPN2 Saturday starting at noon.
Everybody in this stadium thought Jessica Mendoza was going for the fences, swinging the bat, and even the defense for LSU. First couple steps are back, and then Alicia Perry comes in to make the catch. But Mendoza, one swing, and about 10 feet away from making this a 3-0 ball game.
Are you surprised that she swung at the first pitch?
Absolutely not.
Well, Dana Sorensen has given up 2 hits to the Tigers as Jennifer Schulke is at the plate. A right-hander out of Houston, Texas. 22 years old, a senior, majoring in secondary English education. She had the 2000 SEC academic honor roll, and her brain just then told her to hold up on that, step out of the box. Still 0-1 the count to Schulke. She hits this one. Jessica Allister there to make the play for the first out.
I always said if the bottom of the lineup can come through in College World Series time, it will change a team's fortune. You saw Stanford put pressure on Britni Sneed last inning. We're now at the 8-9 part of the order for LSU, and Schulke went after a bad pitch. Bottom of the order needs to be selective and put some pressure on these pitchers. Make them throw.
Well, Alicia Perry swung hard. She chokes up high on the bat. Maybe a little bit tense after making that great catch and possibly overestimating that Mendoza hit. But Alicia Perry now facing a 1-1 count out of Pineville, Louisiana. Bats left, throws right.
So you're choking up on that bat. It is for bat control. Just places the ball. You could see it's Perry who likes those rise balls, and Dana Sorensen knows that. She's thrown her 2 rise balls during this sequence, and Perry has gone for both of them.
Well, Perry had a sprained ankle during outfield warm-ups prior to the second-to-last game of the SEC tournament. She returned to the regionals for the final 2 games versus Arizona State and Louisiana Lafayette. She had hits in both of those games, so the ankle has come around for Alicia Perry. Again, fouls it back. Still 1-2 to Perry.
And this is what I mean by making a pitcher like Sorensen work. Do I know the book on her? Do I know her back's been ailing her? Make her throw a lot of pitches. Hit everything in the strike zone. Protect. Then, of course, when you can't catch up to the pitch and you strike out, that's a different story. And you just saw some of the speed of Dana Sorensen just unleashing this pitch past Alicia Perry. She said, enough toying. I'm going to throw you the rise ball, but you're not going to be able to catch up.
Dee Douglas, the birthday girl, as we mentioned earlier, swinging at the first pitch, falls in, and it's a single for Douglas. She'd like to start a rally here. 2 outs in the bottom of the third for LSU, and Dee Douglas is aboard.
It's what Alicia Perry was trying to do, and take a look at how this pitch hangs up. But it's the better bat control. The top part of the hand comes over. And Douglas swings down to place that ball on the left side. And you got to be careful with her speed.
You do. She leads this team in stolen bases. She has the LSU career stolen base record with 155 swipes. And she will go on you. April Jansen, who had a single in the first, at the plate. 1-0 to Jansen. And the steal, Gets up a little slowly, running off the field. But we are still scoreless here in Oklahoma City. Stanford and LSU. Top of the fourth, still scoreless here in Oklahoma City, and we throw it down now once again to Ellen Weinberg.
Thanks, Michelle. Well, the LSU fans have come out to cheer their Lady Tigers on today, and one of those players, Stephanie Hastings, not only leads the team in batting average, but she's also the motivational leader of this team and has some unique ways of leading her teammates, of motivating her team. Just ask her head coach.
We'll get back to Yvette Girard's story about her star player momentarily.
Hastings has always been the emotional leader for this LSU squad. She really took it upon herself as a senior, one of 5 seniors for Yvette Girard, to put her support behind the new coach and really lead by example. And that's part of what Ellen Weinberg's going to share with us.
That one in there for a strike to Sarah Beeson. Sneed has now thrown 24 strikes, 10 balls, 34 pitches in the game thus far.
And on the other side, Michelle, Stanford has threatened every inning but the second. And they really look aggressive up at the plate. I like the way they're swinging the bat. And Britni Sneed, knowing that Stanford's catching on, threw the first off-speed pitch she's thrown all game here in the fourth. Needs to mix up those speeds.
Well, Beeson at the plate facing Sneed, the human biology major who has interned for a neurobiology lab on campus. That one upstairs. 1-2 now to Beeson.
You know, she's already taken the MCATs, and she's done very well. Kind of going to cruise right into med school.
Just a junior. If she gets really ambitious, she'll take him again and try to up her score. Or fix it, as she would say. Always trying to fix stuff. And she fixed on that ball. Alicia Perry. Does she make the catch? She does it. It's a home run for Sarah Beeson. Nice operation performed right there on that pitch. Her 12th home run of the season. And Stanford is on the board, leading now 1-0 with nobody out here at the top of the fourth.
A breaking ball that just doesn't break for Britni Sneed, and she knew it as soon as she threw it. And welcome home, Sarah Beeson. Oklahoma City looking very warm to the Cardinal.
Kira Ching swinging. Mendoza celebrating with her teammate.
And you know, Sneed knew it. It was back in February. The 2 home runs that were hit off her were from Mendoza and from Beeson. And what did Beeson hit back in February? It was a change. Sneed tried to throw her curve. It didn't break, and Beeson sent it over the fence.
So 1-0 to score. Stanford leading LSU in the top of the fourth, and Kira Ching now facing an 0-2 count from Sneed. Fouls that one off.
The important thing here is to watch how Britni Sneed bounces back. Her mental toughness has been her key in this, her junior year. The book on Sneed was before you could get to her, wear her down. With a home run like that, she'd fall apart. Now we'll see how she comes back.
And the grounder to Weiss, the throw to Connor in time. So Ching's ground out, the first out for Stanford. 1 away, but a big home run scored by Sarah Beeson. Jessica Allister, the catcher, now at the plate with 1 out. From Nacogdoches, Texas.
You know, and this is not a position LSU is not unfamiliar with. All throughout the regions, except for the first game or so, they were in 1-run ball games. Yvette Girard has the experience of the College World Series. She said to her team today, you know, you deserve to be here. You worked hard. You've got what it takes to win. have confidence in yourself. And it's hard when you see a ball sail over the fence to jump right back in the saddle. But it's part of what makes LSU the SEC champs. They've battled all year.
The grounder. And the throw to Connor in time from April Jansen. And that's 2 away now for Stanford. But still that all-important home run by Sarah Beeson has Stanford on the board, leading 1-0. Interestingly enough, both of these teams are making their College World Series debuts, but as you mentioned, both of the coaches have been here. Gerard in a head coaching capacity and Whitman in an assistant capacity. So they both know what to expect and have tried to keep their teams heads out of the clouds, as it were. And they're saying she did not swing. It's a ball. 2-0 the count to Cassie Brangham.
And here's where you want to take care of business. Sit Brangham down. Don't trawl out the count. Get back in there with the bats.
Instead, Brangham swings, and a great catch made by Trina Peel, who has been all over it in the outfield. Still 1 home run for the Cardinal, and they take a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Sarah Beeson was all over it, and her teammates were all over her. Stanford leading 1-0. Stanford up 1-0, and Stephanie Hastings will be leading off for LSU. Ellen Weinberg told us earlier that Hastings' team leadership could be summed up by a story her coach loves to tell.
On Sunday morning, she walked up to me on the finals of that Sunday morning and handed me a note, and the note said, "I want to be the first to congratulate you on taking the LSU Tigers to the College World Series." This was before the game began.
That is how confident Stephanie Hastings would that they would win the regional final and advance to the College World Series. I asked her about it. I said, "How did you know?" And she said, "I just knew." Now went upstairs for a ball. 1-0 the count to Hastings.
April Jansen, of course, had the hit off Sorensen, so you'd love for her to be a table setter here in the 4th inning. Right after Stanford attacks with the Beeson home run, love for Jansen to crack it open.
One and one, the count to team captain Hastings. 1-2.
Well, you can see how that curveball just freezes you from Sorensen. It kind of hugs home plate, and it's what Jansen's just kind of perplexed about. Really has a lot of break to it.
And it's Jansen at the plate, forgive me, the ground ball, and she is there on time.
John Rittman said we need to respect the speed of LSU. And you see the left side of the infield, they're trying to do it. Walker quickly has to field and throw on the run. And just with the step, Jansen gets in to start things off for LSU. But on the run, quick field, quick throw, and just can't get Jansen.
One aboard, no outs. Hastings the bunt. And the throw is there on time. Sorensen making the out. Well, game 4 is coming up next at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It is Iowa versus UCLA right here on ESPN2. No debut for UCLA. They've been here 18 of the 20 College World Series held to this point. Iowa's made a few appearances of their own. UCLA the higher seed in that context.
Really shows you the value Yvette Girard is putting on the base runner Jansen when she sacrifices Steph Hastings, who is hitting .390. She needs to get Jansen in scoring position and has confidence in Christy Connor.
Christy Connor showed confidence in that swing. Almost a collision out there. There is Jansen. For the run to tie up for LSU.
sacrifice. How about 219 and a half feet of a sacrifice? Mendoza, Shelburne going back. Communication, well, who has it? Well, it looks like Mendoza comes up with it. And take a look at the speed. Watch your vet, Gerard. She's already sending Jansen. She's saying, go, go, go. Stanford recognizes it too late, and LSU has tied this ball game.
April Jansen making a great play after the miscommunication out in center field.
Aggressive base running. LSU known for their speed. Mendoza held on to the ball just a little bit too long, and with Gerard sending Jansen on the catch, she had the speed to get 2 bases out of that sacrifice. That is aggressive base running.
Swing and a miss. There's Trina Peel swinging hard at that ball. 1-1 now the count, 2 away. But the most important run of this game has come home to tie it up. April Jansen, you mentioned the aggressiveness. And that is Gerard's style of play. She said, I always want my team to play like it's 0-0 no matter what the score is. And she said that was not a difficult style of play to implement once she got to LSU. She said they took to it quite nicely. 1-2 the count to Peel. Low and away to even it up.
Well, Peel has gone for the rise, and I wouldn't be surprised if Sorensen is just setting Peel up to come back with that rise. Again, Peel loves the pitch upstairs.
Second on the team, hitting .350. Strikes her out there. But take one more look at April Jansen and the aggressive base running. The catch in center field, the communication, and then the sudden realization someone's trying to get home, and April Jansen does to tie it. Tie ball game here in Oklahoma City, but here's the way the brackets look from earlier today. Cal and Michigan both losing, and it was Arizona's Tony Mascarenas. Big swing and a 3-run homer. And that took care of California. 3-2 the final there for Oklahoma. Ashley Barrett was the hero. A single to score runner for the Sooners. So Michigan losing and moving on to the losers bracket to play Cal. Oklahoma with a 2-0 win off that RBI single in the 6th. And here now between Stanford and LSU. A couple of spectacular plays to make it a tie ball game, and a quick first out for LSU.
And credit Stanford for going right at Britni Sneed to try and come back from maybe what was a faux pas for Stanford defensively. Schuyler going for the first pitch, cleanly fielded by Weeks, and it's a quick 1 out. You know, the book on Sneed is she's vulnerable late in the game. But when she gets a run under her belt, she starts to bear down. Her pitches are more crisp. She gets confidence. And with that big 6-foot 1-inch frame, she becomes very tough to hit.
And she will tell you it's not my height that makes me strong. It is my mental toughness. Everyone thinks it's my height. I certainly think it's an asset. And she has worked ahead in the count. 0-2 now to Maureen Lecoq. Sneed an imposing physical presence, but very soft-spoken.
She'll be the first to credit her teammates, the first to say thanks, but dish off. You know, I'd be interested to see. I've never seen her pitch without those sunglasses. If they play a night game, if she comes prepared with the frames, what do you think, Michelle?
That would sort of be like scuba diving at night. I don't know how maybe they would just be clear rather than tinted.
Never let them see your eyes. Britni Sneed does it.
Maureen Lecoq facing the 0-2, fouls it off. She'll keep swinging. LeCoq representing the 8th batter in the order, and batters 6 through 9 have accounted for 9 of 23 total hits in the first 3 games. As you said earlier, Tracy, those batters at the end of the order have to be effective. But a great play made there by Stephanie Hastings for out number 2.
The adjustments that Stanford is making at the plate, doing a great job of hitting the curveball of Britni Sneed, and these fans love to watch the new game in town. What's that? Well, it's all about offense. You know, gone are the days of the 1-0 games. It has become a hitter's field day, and a real exciting game to watch here in Oklahoma City.
Well, you talked about batters clubs and coaches loving to emphasize the bat. We certainly have seen a lot more of that, and you hear about these up-and-coming players really working on their arm strength, their upper body strength, their abdominal strength, and their bat speed. Ramona Shelburne, 1-0 the count with 2 away. Fouls it back.
When you talk about academic success, and Ramona Shelburne is one prime example. She graduated as a junior. She is now in graduate school at Stanford and continuing to play fine ball. Not hitting the way John Rittman would like her to hit. She's a switch hitter, still trying to find her comfort zone.
Slaps it there. The throw from Jansen to Connor. Not in time, not well handled by Connor at all. So Ramona Shelburne had the presence of mind to get there.
Focus and watching the ball into the glove. Does Connor do it at first, or does she take her eye off it? Takes her eye off it and doesn't use her bare hand to cover the ball. And as a result, a 2-out base runner is Ramona Shelburne.
That's the 5th error by Connor this season. And now trying to steal. And she's going to keep going as Shelburne all the way to 3rd.
Well, they called her for leaving early. It is a no pitch, leaving early, and Shelburne is going to be called out. The 3rd out in the inning, and a crucial base running mistake for the Cardinal.
After a crucial error, seemingly by Christy Connor, we'll get another look when we come back to Oklahoma City. 1 apiece, Stanford LSU. Back in Oklahoma City, Michelle Tafoya, Tracy Warren along with you. Well, leaving the bag before the ball actually leaves the pitcher's hands is against the rules, and that's what we think happened.
In games like this, sometimes you get a little jumpy. Ramona Shelburne did just that. If you take a look, exactly, Shelburne disengages from first base before Britni Sneed releases the ball, and with that big stride, it's very deceptive out of the hands of Sneed. Had to wait that nanosecond. Shelburne did. Out number 3.
And Shelburne had reached first to begin with on an error by Christy Connor. So things rather evened out there. 1 apiece, each team with 4 hits in this game, and it's Aaron Johnson at the plate for the Tigers. Dana Sorensen in the circle for Stanford. And Eason handles that easily for the 1st out here in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, you talk about momentum changes. This game has had momentum changes back and forth, and you would expect at this time that LSU would just jump on Sorensen, but Sorensen is showing impeccable control, and the 2 days rest really served her well, showing no signs of any back problems.
Julie Weiss swinging hard in this one. That'll fall in. Mendoza throwing into Kira Ching. But a double for Julie Weiss.
Well, did we talk about Sorensen's control? Well, she tries to sneak a rise ball by the free-swinging Weiss. And John Rittman says we have to pitch the team smart, not up and out of the strike zone. Weiss, look at the arm extension and the power behind this. Watch her pick up Yvette Girard as she turns. Here she picks up Girard. Is she going to 3rd? Girard says no, a stand-up double. And taking it to the fence. It's common for LSU in this game. Mendoza covers, and she gets it back in quickly.
And Sarah Beeson, the first baseman, went out to the mound to try to calm Dana Sorensen down after giving up the double. So Julie Weiss on 2nd, 1 out, And it's Jennifer Schulke, the catcher, at the plate.
You know, you throw that rise ball oftentimes as a waste pitch, but Weiss is such a free swinger, she jumped on it. And right away, Sorensen is coming out of the strike zone to Schulke. Sometimes that's shell shock when you get hit hard, and we've seen it a couple times off the bat of LSU against Sorensen. You need to just settle down. Sorensen again, a sophomore. Got to come back with some composure.
We should note that the wind is really starting to pick up here in Oklahoma City. Going out to right field. There are some gusts now and then that are pretty strong.
And that really has an impact, and I think that had to influence Weiss's hit. Why? Because the ball is blowing out. When you throw a rise ball and it gets up, and hitters hit it up, it has a propensity in Oklahoma City to go further. It did off the bat of Weiss.
Jennifer Schulke works the count to 3-1. Julie Weiss, nicknamed Jules by her teammates, holding up at second. One away, the count 3-1 to Schulke. Schulke, who fouled out in the third inning. The LSU team on its feet. Took back foul, 3-2,
and
full count.
Schulke was swinging for the fences. They call her the big game hitter, and you saw fire in her eyes. Well, they call her Ice Woman, but okay, look at fire in her eyes here. Just a big swing and going for the fences. She had a home run in the SEC tournament, and wow, wouldn't it be nice with that one swing? But Sorensen, she'll humble you.
Full count to Schulke. Fouls it back. One of the longer at-bats that we've seen here this evening. Dana Sorensen, the 19-year-old. Second team All-American. He's allowed just 10 extra base hits and 641 opponent at-bats coming into this game. Three and two the count, one away, and Weiss at second. The comebacker to Sorensen, and Weiss gets herself back to second base in time.
Boy, 43 feet, that doesn't look like it's very far, does it? A bang-bang play and shows the great reactions in Sorensen. Look her stare down Schulke, yeah, I got it, and then turns around to recognize it. Hey, maybe I ought to double up Weiss. Check it, look, real speed. Wow, 43 feet, a lively ball. Livelier bats these days. As a pitcher, you've got to be a good fielder.
A lively mind of Dana Sorensen and the poise to make that play. So two away now for LSU. Weiss still at second, and it's Alicia Perry at the plate, the left-handed hitter. And takes a ball.
It almost becomes a 9-person infield. Take a look at how much the outfield has sunk in with Alicia Perry up at the plate. The infield is in because they know the speed and respect the speed of Perry. But Sorensen, being the thinking pitcher that she is, knows that Perry likes the rise and will continue to tempt her. Look how much the infield is in for Stanford.
1-1 the count to Perry. 2-1. Dana Sorensen, as a sophomore, already third on career innings pitched. And that one fouled back. Came into this game with 378 innings pitched for Stanford. Also third on the career wins list with 47. Again, just a sophomore. She's ready to tackle these record books in a big way. 2-2 the count, fouled back by Perry.
You know, John Rittman says he builds his program from the middle out. What's he mean by that? Well, he starts with a good pitcher. He's got Sorensen. Then he works with a good catcher. He's got a freshman in Alistair behind home plate. Then he works on his middle infielders, his center fielder, and then goes out. And he says if we're strong up the middle and we've got some good hitters, we've got a chance.
Gotta like his chances right now. The score tied, 1 apiece, Stanford and LSU. Alicia Perry still with a 2-2 count, facing Sorensen. Gets this one long, and they'll drop in for a hit. Weiss coming around. The tag is made for the out, and that'll end the inning. So Sorensen gets out of this one. Another couple of hits for LSU, but no runs scored. Still 1 apiece. Stanford comes to bat next. Tie ball game, 1 apiece. And Yvonne Girard in her first year coaching LSU. She replaced a very popular coach in Glenn Moore who took a job with Baylor. And with Glenn Moore right now is our Ellen Weinberg.
Thanks, Michelle. And coach, for you, you were at LSU, you recruited Britni Sneed, you're very familiar with her pitching style. How do you think she's responded after giving up that home run?
Well, Britney's a competitor, and she knows she's got a tremendous team behind her, a great offense, so she makes few mistakes twice, so she'll be right back in the battle.
Now, as an expert, what are your thoughts on the game thus far?
Well, I like to give the edge to LSU with their speed, and then, but of course, Stanford's seen the Pac-10 pitching, so I think it's a toss-up, but I'm going to pull for LSU.
All right, you heard it. Let's go back upstairs, guys.
And why shouldn't he? He had a terrific career there. You see Britni Sneed's line. 45 strikes she's thrown in this game so far.
And credit Glenn Moore for teaching Britni Sneed the peel drop. You know, Glenn Moore was a former pitcher for the King in his court. And he taught Britni a thing or two on the mound. And there you saw the drop, a little off speed. Glenn helped her develop that pitch.
1-2 the count. Robin Walker representing the top of the order for Stanford. Struck her out. And that's strikeout number 4 for Britni Sneed. Join ABC Sports Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern for the 85th running of the Indianapolis 500. Scott Sharp will be on the pole for the famed race from the Brickyard. 4 former winners will be in the field, including Michael Andretti and Jimmy Vassar. Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Well, the interesting battle here in the 6th inning when it is make it or break it time. And Britni Sneed still throwing a good game. And we had mentioned her vulnerabilities late in the game going against Mendoza. Mendoza, of course, hit by the pitch, but was one of 2 hitters that had a home run off of Sneed in February. And the other was Beeson, who, of course, repeated that effort in this game in the 4th inning.
Take a look. Hit this one hard, right over the fence. What a greeting she received at home plate. That was the first run scored in this game. Stanford took the 1-0 lead, but then in the bottom of the 4th, LSU came right back with a real exciting half inning to tie it up. But here is Beeson again with 1 out, 1 on, facing Sneed. And this one will go foul. And over the fence, down the left field line.
Well, you remember Yvette Girard at the early going with our Ellen Weinberg saying, we need to pitch Stanford smarter. Well, part of it is not giving Beeson, Mendoza anything too good to hit. Now, what is anything too good? Well, almost with Beeson and Mendoza, with their reach, it's anything over the black of home plate. You saw Sneed try to get ahead with an off-speed pitch, and Beeson set it foul. Let's see how she pitches her.
That one fouled down the right field line. Great stat on Beeson. Not only is she hitting .399 on the season, but with runners on base, she's hitting .438. Terrific clutch performer, and she does have a runner on now. Mendoza was hit by a pitch and is at first. 0-2, though, the count to Sarah Beeson. Beeson, who along with Mendoza was invited to USA Softball Women's National Team Camp this summer. Some LSU players on that list as well. And it's hit foul again.
Wow. Even pitches out of the strike zone, Beeson is really taking command of it, and Britni Sneed really understands that. Ahead in the count, she's figuring to herself, where is safe for Beeson? Everything I've thrown her, an off speed, a ball that's jammed her on the inside, and then a little breaking pitch which dropped out. Beeson is really crunching. And with the wind blowing out, you can see Sneed shaking off Schulke. Gotta be smart.
That one high, Mendoza safe at second. The stolen base for Mendoza makes 31 on the season.
An aggressive base running team is Stanford when you have Mendoza on first base. This is a rise ball, and Mendoza does not leave early and quickly down, so Hastings can't even make the tag. This is a rise ball. You love as a catcher to get rise balls when the runner is going because you're standing up and throwing, but still with the speed of Mendoza, Schulke can't get her.
Low and away. Mendoza holding up at second, but now Beeson has worked the count to 2-2.
And the question becomes, do you put her on? Do you create the force with one out, or do you go at it?
Tough question for Britni Sneed. And the comeback of Sneed. Now she'll go to second for the double play. Nice inning for LSU, and Britni Sneed continues to show her mental toughness. Still 1-all. LSU and Stanford going into the bottom of the sixth. Back in Oklahoma City, Stanford and LSU tied at 1 in the bottom of the sixth, and here's how it got that way. First, it was Sarah Beeson for Stanford, hitting one hard over the center field fence. Solo shot, and then for LSU, Christy Connor, the sacrifice fly to score April Jansen after the catch. Some confusion, and Jansen, showing some speed on the base path, came around to score and tie it up. For a 1-1 ball game, it's actually been very entertaining. 3 double plays turned on the day, 2 by LSU, 1 by Stanford. And Dee Douglas, representing the top of the order for LSU, takes ball 1.
We saw Britni Sneed and LSU get out of a tough top of the lineup for Stanford last inning. Great play by Sneed. Now can Sorensen do the same?
Foul back by Douglas.
Well, the key for Sorensen is to continue to mix her pitches. That's her mastery, as she mixes speeds, and she is a pitcher, not a thrower. You can tell when Sorensen gets tired, her ball starts to flatten out, she overthrows. And again, with the wind gusting up and the back flare-ups that she had, it's key that she's effective here late in the innings.
1-1 the count. Make it 2-1 to Dee Douglas. The left-handed hitter has hit in 7 of the last 8 games, and will make it 8 of the last 9 if we're going to include today. She hit in the 3rd inning as well, got to first. Fouls this one back, 2-2.
Take a look at Dee Douglas's feet placement when she makes contact with the ball. She's getting a running start, common in softball. Not common being out of the box when you make contact. Key, start back in the box, run toward the pitcher, up the box, make contact while you're still in the box. If you don't, you're out. So what do you save yourself there? About 3 steps and a running start. And with your Dee Douglas, that means about 2.6 seconds down to first base. You can see why she's leading off for LSU.
Yes, you can. The infield moving in for Douglas. Dee Douglas facing a 2-2 count. Struck her out swinging. So 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th.
Great pitch by Sorensen. Wide, throws it up and away from a moving Douglas. The same pitch she got her on in the first inning. You see how the momentum of Douglas is going towards first and down? Well, Sorensen goes up and away. Great adjustment on the mound by Sorensen.
It's the 4th strikeout today for Dana Sorensen. 1 earned run. And it's April Jansen at the plate, who has scored the only run for LSU thus far. The pitch count for Sorensen, 22 balls, 51 strikes for a total of 73. 1 away, 1-1 the count to Jansen.
And there you see the off-speed starting to unfurl, the mix of speeds more often late in the innings. A great pitch count, as you mentioned, Michelle, but watch this just freeze Jansen. Why is that a great pitch to throw Jansen? Because Jansen's timing has been on.
And there it's on again, drops in for a single. As Kira Ching just couldn't get there.
What a great game for April Jansen as the number 2 hitter, making adjustments in the number 2 spot. After the changeup on an outside pitch, goes with it over to the right side. Ching can't get it, and for the 3rd time this game, April Jansen is aboard.
And that 3 hits ties a season high for Jansen. Stephanie Hastings at the plate for LSU. A unanimous selection to the NCAA regional team. And hits that one hard down the left field line. And you mentioned how Stephanie Hastings was so critical to that transition in the coaching staff with Yvette Girard coming in. And Girard wasn't sure she had won this team over yet. And she was smart. She went right to Stephanie Hastings, who she knew was the leader of this team. And Stephanie said, look, I'd be lying if I didn't cringe a little bit and think, oh, it's my senior year and we're changing coaching staffs, but I would do anything for this team. And I told her, Coach, you are the coach. I'll do whatever you want. Hastings has done just that.
And that meant moving from the number 2 spot to the number 3 spot in the order. Yvette Girard needed power. Hastings said, Coach, I'll supply it.
And also meant moving from first base to short where she was needed. She was a first-team All-American at first last year. But they moved her to short. 2-2 the count. Again hit hard and over the fence down the left field line. Sorensen has allowed 7 hits tonight. That ties a season high for the Stanford hurler.
John Rittman said at the end of regionals, Sorensen ran out of gas. He went with her as long as he could. And
that one drops foul.
Here in the College World Series, you really trust what got you there. And what got Stanford here is Dana Sorensen. And Rittman has an assortment of 4 pitchers, so it shows you the confidence he has in his sophomore.
2-2 the count to Hastings. That one blown away. So a full count to Stephanie Hastings.
And a good eye. You can see that Sorensen talking to Alistair that Hastings didn't go for the high curveball.
The grounder handled by Walker. The throw to second in time for the out there. April Jansen will head back to the dugout. Meanwhile, Stephanie Hastings reaches first. So 2 out, 1 aboard for Christy Connor.
Now with Hastings aboard and as a 2-out base runner, and Yvette Girard having confidence that she can run on Stanford, we'll see if she puts Hastings in scoring position here and sends her on one of these pitches with Connor up.
That one in there for a strike. 0-1 to Christy Connor.
And an off-speed pitch. As we take a look, 7 hits off Sorensen. That means LSU has her timing, so she's throwing more off-speed.
strike 2.
And I really like the sequence so far that Sorensen's showing Connor. Connor upstairs, and you're in trouble. So she's kept it low, she's kept it off speed. See, most likely, if she'll go away here. She does.
Low and outside, ball 1, 1-2 to Connor. Kinesiology major out of Katy, Texas, and the transfer, as we mentioned earlier, from UT San Antonio. The comebacker, and that'll end the inning for Sorensen. Still 1 apiece as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Top of the 7th inning, Stanford and LSU tied at 1 apiece. Game 4 coming up at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Iowa out of the Big Ten, facing UCLA out of the Pac-10. That's right here on ESPN2. And speaking of that game, our Ellen Weinberg is with UCLA head coach Sue Enquist. Ellen?
And coach, for you, you were legendary UCLA here at the College World Series, 14 appearances. But you say the first game's always about getting the jitters out. Your expectations for tonight?
Oh, I told my team earlier that the most important thing that we need to do is be loose. And when you're loose, you have a tendency to be aggressive. So we need to be aggressive out there today at the plate and play solid defense.
A big question a lot of people have is who you're going to pitch tonight. You have 3 great pitchers. Have you made that decision, and why?
Yeah, we did. We're going to go with Amanda Freed, and she's really coming along nicely. She doesn't have her complete arsenal, but she's got enough pitches that we feel she can go out there and do a good job and hold them. So we're going to go with Amanda, and it's just nice having that depth in the circle and see how she does. I'm feeling confident, and she's the one we're going to go with.
All right, Coach, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Michelle?
Ellen thanks Amanda Freed. Having a bit of an injury, Tracy, but she's coming back.
Yeah, you know, no coincidence that Sue Enquist plants herself on top of that W. See that? See all that psychological games going on? She puts herself...
Only you would notice and make such an intuitive observation. Kira Ching hitting right into the glove of Trina Peel for out number 1 here in the top of the 7th.
Is an interesting choice, Amanda Freed. Amanda Freed battling some injuries, but as Sue Enquist said, you know, she thinks she's strong enough to go against Iowa. So, interesting choice from Sue Enquist.
That one in there for a strike. Britni Sneed showing the off-speed to Jessica Allister. That will even up the count, 1-1.
And Allister is one of those hitters that does have home run power. Of course, in early May, had back-to-back home runs against Arizona State University. And her RBI production really increased towards the end of the season. And what that means is here's a freshman who's getting used to Pac-10 pitching and Division I pitching.
Still just 18 years old. 2-1 the count to Allister. Low and inside, 3-1.
And working a great count, taking a lot of pitches from Sneed, and we said 6th inning on, we want to watch to see if Sneed has any drop-off. Taking some pitches, a good decision.
Outside ball 4, and Sneed surrenders the first walk of this game.
And I think it's crucial right now that Britni Sneed really bear down, because as we mentioned, it's the 6th and 7th inning which teams tend to get to her. And if there's a run that she gives up, it is in the latter innings. Closing is key, and we saw earlier in this game, Ashley Lewis, the other standout pitcher for LSU, was warming up, but she has not gotten back up in the bullpen.
A pinch runner has come in, Jessica Dremel, for Stanford to run for Jessica Allister. So one Jessica in for another. Meanwhile, Cassie Brangham at the plate after Sneed and Schulke had a conference in the circle. Schulke surely trying to calm her pitcher down.
Stanford Stanford is the master at the hit and run. It'd be very interesting to see if John Rittman is a gambling man here in the 7th inning and pulls the hit and run now that he's got Jessica with speed. That's Jessica Drammel with speed on first base. He loves to put the pressure on with the hit and run.
In their first strike, Jessica Drammel, the pinch runner at first, a transfer from Oklahoma. Born in Omaha and is a junior at Stanford. He spent most of the season as a pinch runner, but spent 1997 to 2000 at Nebraska. She's a two-time academic All-American. Blowing away 2-1 the count.
I'm confused. Is she a Cornhusker, a Sooner, or a Cardinal? Or all of the above?
I think now it's safe to say she's a Cardinal. I guess the technical way to say she's a member of the Cardinal. And that one hit hard by Branham. D. Douglas there to handle it. But runners at first and second now. Drammel the second, Branham at first with the single, and Jenny Scheidler coming to the plate.
Going with the pitch, it's key for Stanford, and it's what Branham does on an outside pitch. Doesn't try to pull it, sends it to the left side, and a great piece of hitting. See this drop ball, which really doesn't break off. And Branham just tries to go, and Stanford feeling it right now here in the 7th. You know, when you're in the Pac-10 and you face teams consistently like UCLA and Arizona State and Cal, you get used to some pretty good pitching and you learn how to get your bat on the ball.
Well, that is a terrific point, and every Pac-10 coach who is here, and keep in mind there are 4 of them, said the same thing. There's no better preparation for these pressure-filled games and for elite pitching in college ball than playing in the Pac-10. It is surely the top softball conference in the nation. Jenny Scheidler with 1 out and 2 on. And Sneed throws a ball.
Unlike Britni Sneed to throw a ball, she is a first pitch strike pitcher. She gets ahead of hitters better than anyone. An All-American pitcher, but now, again, late in the game, it's composure that's key.
And now Drammel runs to third. Cassie Branham advancing to second. Both runners advance.
And the gambling man rolls the dice and comes up big. A breakdown in communication. Weiss doesn't go back, and Hastings doesn't cover. And that leaves third base wide open for Jessica Drammel. Take a look at Weiss charging. It leaves third base open. It's the job of Hastings to get over and cover. And Rittman really showing that he's willing to take risks.
And the bunt laid down by Scheidler, but the out made at home plate. Jessica Drammel can't get there. Now Scheidler advancing to second. Knew she could get there, jogged to the bag. So 2 away. The run can't get across, but still 2 runners in scoring position.
And here comes the squeeze. It's a suicide squeeze, and Schulke knows it, and she is just waiting for Drammel at home. And meanwhile, Scheidler very, very alertly moves to second. But talk about risks in the College World Series. John Rittman is going full tilt here in the 7th.
Maureen LeCoq at the plate. Oh. And again, first ball thrown is a ball. Should Gerard be concerned about her pitcher, Sneed?
Sneed's gotten out of these tough situations before. She's on the number 8 hitter. She just has to pitch smart. It's what Yvette Gerard has been telling her. And now you can see Sneed and Schulke trying to get their signals set. Schulke gets the sign from the dugout, gives it to Sneed. Sneed has veto power. You saw it there.
Foul back by LeCoq to even up the count at 1-1.
You know, when you're a pitcher, you know what's working, and you know what you want to throw late in the game, what you feel comfortable with. Here comes the signal. Coming in from the dugout from LSU, James DeFeo gives it to Jen Schulke. Jen Schulke gives it to Britni Sneed.
DeFeo, who came with Gerard from Louisiana Lafayette. 2-1 now. Jennifer Schulke keeping a close eye on things. Sneed has escaped 4 times this game with runners at second or third and with 1 out. She's got 2 outs right now. That one thrown low. So a 3-1 count to LeCoq.
And very alertly, Britni Sneed pitching LeCoq smart because LeCoq has hit the ball hard 2 times. Once safely and once a line out.
19-year-old sophomore from Woodland Hills, California, with a huge opportunity in front of her. Smacks this one hard, foul, and over the right field fence. Look at the Stanford bench trying to will this thing foul and over the fence. Go, go! Well, they got what they tried to get. 3-2, full count to LeCoq with 2 outs. Again, tip foul.
Well, you can see why, because Britni Sneed is going with the bread and butter, and that is her curveball. With a full count, 2 out, 2 runners on here in the 7th, first game of the World Series, you go back to what got you here, and that's the curveball. See if she throws it a 3rd straight time.
Gets her. Looking to end the inning. Sneed getting out of trouble yet again. Wow. Oh, man. Check it. It was a swing. You know she wishes she hadn't. Back to Oklahoma City after this. Oklahoma City, the NCAA Women's College World Series, day 1. And it's Stanford, the number 6 seed, taking on the number 3 seed, LSU. Michelle Tafoya, Tracy Warren, Ellen Weinberg along with you. There is Britni Sneed, who's been pitching for LSU, has given up 7 hits, but just 1 run. And if you're LSU, this is why you're glad to be the higher seed. You have the last chance, in this case it's the bottom of the 7th, to put this thing away. Tied at 1 apiece. Trina Peel can help end this thing. Dana Sorensen's going to try to keep her from doing that. Peel fouls it off.
Sneed unmasked herself, finally took off the sunglasses, and as the game wears on, the shadows start to play a factor in this game. As you can see, all of the infield primarily is covered. The outfield, right field, a big glare for Ramona Shelburne in right field.
Fouled off again, 1-2, the count to Peel.
Extra eye blacks, you need it on days like today. Shelburne came well prepared.
Dana Sorensen has 4 strikeouts thus far. Ball 2-2 the count, now to Peel. The junior out of Aurora, Colorado, leads the team with 5 triples this season and also leads the team in slugging percentage at .601. Struck her out.
Yvette Gerard came in saying, we need to cut down on our strikeouts. We need to be smarter hitters. Well, it's tough when you're facing the All-American in Sorensen. Watch the pinpoint control she's got on the rise ball. The 2nd consecutive at-bat she's gotten Trina Peel on the rise.
Aaron Johnson takes strike 1. Take a look at the throw.
Top of the knees, forward armpit when you are standing upright, not when you're crouching. And I think Johnson with the crouch hoped to buy herself a smaller strike zone.
Well, Johnson swung at the second pitch. 0-2 now, the count to Johnson. That one low and away for a ball. Aaron Johnson leads LSU, having been hit by a pitch, a team leading 9 times. He's 2 of 10 in the NCAA regional.
And Sorensen keeps trying to pitch Johnson away, trying to go away, because you know she had the ground to the right side and the hit earlier on.
This one hit hard to center field. Jessica Mendoza there to make the catch. And it's 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th.
You know, you watch these wins here in Oklahoma City, and Mendoza having to run about good 15 yards to catch up to that ball. I think it's a great advantage for the Oklahoma Sooners because they're so used to playing in this weather. The defending national champs have a great sense for what the weather's going to do to fly balls.
Julie Weiss hoping to make use of the wind. Upstairs, ball 1 to Weiss. Weiss 2 of 11 in the SEC tournament, 2 of 11 in the NCAA regionals. Swing and a miss. That is the 100th pitch by Dana Sorensen. 32 balls, 68 strikes. Make that 69. 1-2 to Weiss. 2 out, bottom of the 7th, tie ball game, 1 apiece. Weiss hits this one hard, and Mendoza there again for out number 3, and we will have extra innings. Going to the top of the 8th here in Oklahoma City. Stanford and LSU tied at 1. It has turned into jacket weather here in Oklahoma City. A little bit chilly with some wind blowing, but that hasn't stopped some great defensive plays, Tracy.
Robin Walker turning to, and of course Peel with a nice grab out in right field. Mendoza guns down the runner at home plate, and how about the pitcher gets into it? Britni Sneed turns the double play. They say defense wins games. These both teams have been solid.
Indeed they have, and Sneed has the glasses back on, shadows and all. She'll hang on to the tinted lenses. And Ramona Shelburne, representing the 9th spot in the order for Stanford, at the plate here in the top of the 8th. Extra innings. And this one almost handled by Sneed. And the throw to first mishandled by Christy Connor, her 2nd drop of this game. Christy Connor, who had 4 errors in the regular season, has 2 in this ballgame.
A lot of spin on this ball. Watch Hastings make a great play and a great throw. Momentum's taking her to the left. She recovers on the run and hits the heel of the glove of Connor.
She looked like she had her glove turned the wrong way. And Robin Walker lays down the bunt. The throw to first in time. And it was Julie Weiss who had come in to make the play. So 1 away. Ramona Shelburne at second base. And it's Jessica Mendoza.
And here is the tough situation if you're LSU. Again, late in the game, you've got Mendoza, Beeson back-to-back. Wind playing a factor. I'd put Mendoza on. Now, Mendoza's got the power. She's got the range. And late in the innings, I'd put her on. Create the force. You put her on first, you've got the force on, you've got the infield fly on, and you've got Beeson up, who hit into a double play her last time up.
1-0 the count to Mendoza. Stanford's first ever All-American. Tips that one foul. Drop 1-1. Mendoza, a two-time first-team All-American, hits .439 with runners on base. Ramona Shelburne is on at second. One away here in the top of the 8th.
Whoa.
2-1 now to Mendoza. Sarah Beeson on deck. She homered to put the first run on the board in this game. And Mendoza will find the gap. And coming home is Ramona Shelburne. Home to score the go-ahead run. A double by Jessica Mendoza brings Shelburne home 2-1 Stanford.
Well, Britni Sneed chose to pitch to Jessica Mendoza, and she paid for it. Mendoza has the long levers, the great reach. Even with a pitch breaking away, she takes it to the right side, and Shelburne's got speed. Rittman sends her home, standing up, and oh, how great it is when you're the Cardinal to drive home that go-ahead run.
2-1. And a strike by Sarah Beeson.
So many times this year, LSU has made errors, and they've come back to haunt them. Christy Connor catches that ball. It is a different game. She did not. They need to regroup, and Mendoza, the most feared hitter on this Stanford lineup, makes LSU pay for it.
Let's not forget some fielding errors by LSU. It certainly gave Stanford an advantage here in this inning. 0-1 the count to Beeson. Mendoza at second. And hit by a pitch and hit hard is Sarah Beeson, who will take first base.
And the hit by pitch, putting Beeson on first and second. But this was the error that got the inning started off on the wrong foot for LSU. Connor can't hold on to the Hastings throw. That puts Shelburne aboard, and Mendoza knocks her home. And Britni Sneed showing a little unsettling now by hitting Sarah Beeson. The second hitter she has hit. She hit Mendoza in the 6th. Now Beeson.
Women's College World Series, LSU, the number 3 seed, taking on Stanford, the number 6 seed. We're in extra innings, top of the 8th. And it has been here in this half of the inning that Stanford has scored the go-ahead run to make it 2-1. Here in the first round of the College World Series. This is game 3. And this is Kira Ching at the plate with a 1-1 count.
Who is due, who really hasn't had a good at-bat yet against Britni Sneed. You can't hold good hitters down long.
And that is pitch number 101 by Sneed. 35 balls, 66 strikes thrown by Sneed today. 2-1, the count to Ching. Ching, an all-tournament team from the regionals. And a strike to even it up at 2-2.
Well, you're looking at a pitcher in Britni Sneed that has a .67 ERA. It's not often that she gives up 2 runs in a game. Well, welcome to playing against the Pac-10. They're known for it.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3 for Kira Ching, and another strikeout for Britni Sneed. That's 6 on the day. And she would have been out of this inning if not for the error earlier by Christy Connor. Jessica Allister.
Now, Allister really hasn't done much off of Sneed. Now, with runners at first and second, you can see Weiss, the third baseman for LSU, really back. just in case we've got a steal going.
Puts this one foul into the stands.
Sometimes as a defensive team you get lulled to sleep here in the late innings, and there is Weiss, the third baseman for LSU, playing about 10 feet in front of third, and she backpedals when the pitch is released. She's not going to get caught sleeping.
Upstairs, ball 2, 2-1 to Allister. She's got Mendoza at second, Beeson at first, 2 away here in the top of the 8th. But the go-ahead run already scored by Stanford. Ball 3. Nope, strike. Check that. 2-2 to even it up. There's ball 3, yeah.
Wow.
You wonder if Sneed thought it was a strike.
Well, absolutely, because she was headed toward the dugout, and there's her patented curveball. Watch this just break at the knees. And the framing by Schulke and the home plate umpire was not sold on it, but Sneed was already headed for the dugout.
So a full count to Allister, 2 aboard, 2 out.
And throw it again.
Gets her swinging to end the inning. But the damage has already been done. Jessica Mendoza hit a huge double. And that would score Ramona Shelburne to put Stanford ahead here in the top of the 8th. The number 6 seed looking for the upset. Day 1 here at the 20th Women's College World Series has seen Arizona advance with a win over Cal. Oklahoma with a 2-0 victory over Michigan. So Cal and Michigan will meet in the losers bracket. And the winner of this game will face the winner of the next game, Iowa-UCLA, coming up a little bit later. And there's Jessica Mendoza, who, if this score stands up, will be the hero of this game. Big double in the top of the 8th to score Ramona Shelburne and give Stanford the go-ahead run. We've got a pinch runner now for LSU. Jill Crawford, nicknamed Crawdad by her teammates, the 21-year-old junior out of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Not far from where John Rittman, the Stanford coach, grew up.
Why does Yvette Girard make this change? Well, Crawford has power. She was a .460 hitter in mid-March, very tough on herself physically, but has the ability to hit the gaps, and that's what Girard is looking for here late in the game. Schulke, the hitter she replaced, didn't have it. Schulke wasn't hitting the ball well, so you give a new look for Crawford and going against Dana Sorensen.
1-1 now, the count to Crawford. 5'6", transferred from Chattanooga State Community College, where she helped lead her team to 2 Tennessee Junior College state and regional championships in 1999 and 2000. But Sorensen with another strike, 1-2 now, the count to Crawford. Upstairs, ball 2.
And you can see Sorensen just trying to stay relaxed, the deep breaths, the taking her time on approaching the mound, being very cautious.
Swing and a miss. So Jill Crawford is the 6th strikeout victim for Dana Sorensen tonight.
And very difficult the first time looking at Sorensen and everything she has. Here's a drop ball, what she's known for. It just falls out. Crawford can't catch up. And to get the leadoff hitter in extra innings takes a lot of pressure off.
Inside ball 1 to Alicia Perry. Perry with a single on the day, hitting .297 this season. And a left-handed hitter fouls it away. 1-1.
You know, I have not seen Sorensen throw much in the strike zone, and LSU really helping her out. She's going upstairs, she's going outside, she's going low, but that strike zone she's not visiting very much. Sign of a very smart pitcher.
And a sign of a very tense yet supportive LSU team in the dugout, linking arms, trying to get this team rallied. Alicia Perry behind in the count 1-2. Struck her out. Strikeout number 7 for Sorensen.
And credit Dana Sorensen for again coming back with the drop away from Perry, and watch her reaction. 2 down, 1 to go for Stanford's first ever win in the College World Series.
And guess who's at bat? 22 years old today, Dee Douglas, on her birthday. What a story it would be if she could provide some sort of spark for LSU. 3rd on the team in batting average, hitting .335 on the season. A 2-0 count now to Douglas.
And very smartly, Dee Douglas is taking the pitches of Sorensen. As we were talking about, Sorensen hasn't been in the strike zone. And you can hear Britni saying, come on, Dana, go right at her. Go right at her.
3-0 count to Dee Douglas. And she gets the walk. Coming up, game 4 at about 9:42 Eastern, Iowa and UCLA, the final game on this 4-game slate of day 1. Bet Gerard would love it if the birthday girl Dee Douglas could have just started a rally for her LSU Tigers.
Well, she's got some speed, so she's definitely going to be motoring if that ball's hit. And you can see Alistair, the freshman, keeping an eye on Dee Douglas. You know, the book on Douglas is when the ball's hit on the infield, just throw it a second. She's that quick.
April Jansen at the plate. That one in there for a strike. 1-1 to Jansen.
The most successful hitter for LSU today up at the plate.
Fouled off over the right field fence. Douglas will trot back to first base. 1-2 count now to April Jansen. 1 strike away from a big first ever College World Series victory for the Stanford women. The grounder, handled by Walker. That's running to first in time, and the Cardinal has done it. A 2-1 win over the number 3 seed LSU Tigers.
Timely hitting by Stanford, known for their tenaciousness at the plate. They never relented, thanks to their center fielder, Jessica Mendoza.
Jessica Mendoza and Sarah Beeson, the offensive heroes once again for Stanford, each coming up with the huge plays that put the runs on the board for the Cardinal and the 2-1 win over LSU. Our final score, 2-1 Stanford. Coming up next, ESPN News. This has been an NCAA production in association with ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. What a gem we have seen. The Stanford Cardinal, in its debut performance, comes away with a win, 2-1.